Hello, this is Eric Dosman, Client Solutions Lead with Imagine. Today I just want to walk through some of the major interface changes that are coming for the unified interface in Dynamics 365. So I want to show you a couple of the bigger changes that might have a bigger impact on your organization moving forward. So let's get started. Let's walk through a few of these. A big thing that's changing is how the menu navigation is conducted. So you'll see on the left-hand side here is the new navigation. So it's an always present, always there navigation, so that you can kind of quickly get to the different areas of your application, as opposed to that drop-down based application or navigation at the very top of the screen in the legacy web client. Everything is still there. It's just a little easier to get to and move around in. The system views and personal views are still there. There's a little bit of change here where you have a little bit of improved densities for the headers and the rows. Forms are mostly the same. The big difference here is those tabs that were a little bit hard to find down the page, or next to the record name, the drop down next to the record name. Those are now listed across the top as you might expect a tab would be on a form. So it's a little bit easier to have shorter, more concise form pages so that you can kind of tab across the different parts of the record. For the most part, everything else remains, for the most part, as configured. There's some improvements in the way that activities are displayed and created within the interface. So rather than having kind of segmented areas or tabs across the top where you have post, assistant, activities, and notes, it's all combined into one kind of single timeline down the page, where you can kind of easily get a better idea about the path that this record has taken, or the related things to this, related activities to this record, or related notes to the record. You'll see a little bit more here. Previously there'd be kind of 4 rows visible, and now we've expanded that to 9 rows. The business process flow. This is probably one of the bigger changes. Before you had that chevron look on the right-hand side here. That's moved to kind of this targeted look for each stage of the business process flow. The big change here is those always present key fields underneath each chevron has really been moved to a pop-out. So you can either click on the target for a particular stage and it will display below, or you can pop it out and pin it off to the right-hand side of the screen. So that might be a bigger change for your folks if you were heavily reliant on those key fields. They got a couple more clicks there potentially if they don't pin that out to the side. So just a little bit of shift in how they might approach that. All right, so this is where we're talking about having that consistent look and feel across the different devices and different ways that you interact with the application. So starting from the left-hand side here is in the background there is the web version, the desktop web version, and that's kind of the full look, and that's what the screenshots and previously have been from. Then we move down to a tablet version. It's pretty much a lot like the desktop version, except your navigation is collapsed a little bit more. You don't have that branding at the top currently, and you've gone from a 3-column layout to it's kind of stacked itself into a 2-column layout. Moving over towards the right on the phone and the Outlook, you see that we're gone to 1 column. The text on the Outlook is now wrapping underneath the field label. So it's just kind of giving a little bit easier to read view as you kind of lose that screen real estate. Another thing you'll notice at the top is those tabs that we previously mentioned in that change in how the tabs are laid out. You'll see that those tabs get collapsed into this ellipse. And so you can kind of quickly navigate to those tabs by clicking on that list. Another big change is the interactive dashboard. So, there's some enhanced filtering capabilities here on the dashboard that's that's really going to be, I think, super powerful to a lot of users as they go and create these dashboards or leverage the existing dashboards here. As you click into each of these items, you'll see the filters get set at the top in that kind of blue text in the upper left-hand corner of the dashboard. So it lets you kind of create a dashboard once and then drill down into it by filtering by clicking on different data points. Another thing here is the always present date filter in the upper right-hand corner. You'll see you can kind of quickly navigate between different time frames as well. So that's this is going to enable you to really build a dashboard once and then apply these filters so that you don't have to create multiple dashboards for different time frames and different breaks. You'll be able to create fewer dashboards and just have your users or train your users to drill down in them. All right, so record navigation is a little bit different. So previously in the web version or in the legacy version, you'd have to kind of click on a record, you'd go to the record page, and then if you needed to go back to the list view, you'd hit back. It's a little bit easier moving forward. You've got the record set navigation, so whatever view that you're on, it will create this record set off to the left-hand side in between the main navigation and the record, so that you can kind of quickly navigate between records rather than having to go back all the way to the list view to get there. So this is very helpful if you're a service person and you need to kind of quickly navigate from case to case. This will always be present on this will be present for any of the views, but it'll also apply in a search. Your search results will be there, any dashboard, and any interactive dashboard. All right, so another big change that will impact and probably need some assessment moving forward for your organization is the ability to create tailored and role purpose-driven apps. So no longer does all sales and sales support and sales management need to necessarily use one of the same apps or the same app. You can create tailored apps that deliver the functionality that each role would need to leverage. So this kind of will help reduce clutter. You don't have to worry about people having access to things that necessarily they don't need access to. It'll help make jobs easier just by giving and delivering just the functionality that resources need.